Okay, so thank you so much again for the opportunity to share a little bit about Universidad Xochicalco with your students. And I know that this is perhaps an opportunity that they haven't considered before. Maybe they've considered options in California, more local options for universities to transfer to. But we have a very unique spot, Universidad Xochicalco, which is we're both local but also international. So I'm just going to start off by sharing a video generally about the university. So please let me know if you guys can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
For the past 45 years, Universidad Xochicalco has earned a reputation of excellence in Mexico's Northwest region through our 3 campuses in Ensenada, Tijuana, and Mexicali.
On each campus, we hold traditional and bilingual high schools, 14 bachelor's degree programs, 18 master's degrees, a PhD in education, and medical school.
Hi, my name is Grace Centeno. I'm 31 years old and I'm a medical student here at the University of Xochicalco in Ensenada in Mexico. All I can say is very rewarding and challenging at times. They already start you out with doing patient care out in the community starting in first semester. I found that very exciting and challenging at the same time. And if you're thinking that, oh, wow, it's in Mexico, I don't think I can do it because my Spanish is not that great. Don't let that stop you from coming here, because I also had the same mentality. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. It is a challenge, but the good thing about here at the university is that the professors here are always willing to help you out in understanding materials. They're willing to take their extra time. And also my fellow classmates, they help me with certain things that I couldn't understand or translate. And everyone here is so helpful. They provide programs, they offer tutoring services. So don't think that you can't do it or that you can't come here because of a language barrier. It is doable.
It's just a very brief introduction, and I did want to share a little bit of a longer video. So as you will see, both of these videos kind of center on medicine at Xochicalco, and then later on you'll also hear from one of our faculty members and some alumni specifically in medicine. But if that's not the field that you're interested in, don't worry, because we'll also share a little bit about other fields. Can you see the second video? Okay, perfect.
Things that I've learned, the hands-on experience that I got to see with patients and my teachers. I am now currently working, graduated about 3 or 4 years ago. And I can say that I have been prepared by some of the best teachers that I've had while I was in Universidad Xochicalco. I have been challenged with many different specialties. I get to work with a lot of different doctors from all different types of the fields in medicine. And I am really happy that I got to study and experience and see all the improvements that have been done to the school while I was a student there. And I am now currently preparing to take the board exam so that I can fulfill my dream of becoming a doctor in the US. And all the things that I've learned while I was here in Xochicalco has helped me to get to that point.
Universidad Xochicalco consistently upgrades its equipment and facilities, complete with first-class sports fields and fully equipped high-tech laboratories, providing access to the best academic and practical experiences.
On our path of continuous improvement, we are committed to obtaining higher certification and accreditation levels than required of our institution to improve our national and international ranking.
Hi, my name is Ivana Caballero. I am from San Diego, California. I am a 7th semester medical student here at Universidad Xochicalco. My experiences here have been quite eventful for me, just due to changes in dynamics and culture. Mexico and the United States are very different, as everyone might know. I chose this campus specifically because they told me that I wouldn't have a problem with me being bilingual. It wouldn't be an issue if I spoke more English than I did Spanish, because you have to know English when you come out of this school. And this school also, it has a fame, and it is 100% true that it is practical from the get-go. From the very beginning, you learn how to take blood pressure, you learn how to write a clinical history, you know exactly how to treat a patient. So when you get to your 5th semester of medical school, you know exactly how to treat a patient. The cases there, you work one-on-one, hands-on with patients, you go into surgeries, you deliver babies, and the school here has always been so helpful when it comes to financially and just help with language. In this case, the doctors have always been so supportive, and we have a really great team here.
Our educational model from high school to bachelor's degrees guide students to identify the community's problems through our curricular community program, in which they practice humane, ethical, and professional means of working with people to integrate a sense of service into their professional lives.
Universidad Xochicalco's vision is to not only educate students academically, but to also guide them through the path towards fulfilling their dreams. Thanks to mentors, life plan, corporate term, and student mobility programs, we have been able to produce more than just professionals. Our graduates are agents of change, fully capable of entering the workforce to support national or global needs.
We have a scientific magazine and research exhibitions where students and teachers showcase their research findings with curricular value.
My name is Grace Centeno. I'm 31 years old and I'm a medical student here at the University of Xochicalco, Ensenada in Mexico. All I can say is very rewarding and challenging at times. They already start you out with doing patient care out in the community starting in first semester. I found that very exciting and challenging at the same time. And if you're thinking that, oh, wow, it's in Mexico, I don't think I can do it because my Spanish is not that great. Don't let that stop you from coming here, because I also had the same mentality. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. It is a challenge, but the good thing about here at the university is that the professors here are always willing to help you out in understanding materials. They're willing to take their extra time. And also my fellow classmates, they help me with certain things that I couldn't understand or translate. And everyone here is so helpful. They provide programs, they offer tutoring services. So don't think that you can't do it or that you can't come here because of a language barrier. It is doable.
In sports, Universidad Xochicalco is proud to present our great champions, the Coyotes.
Universidad Xochicalco recognizes students with financial hardships, so we continually increase scholarship opportunities and other forms of assistance to them.
Okay, so that was just a little bit more about the university, and then I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again and speak a little bit about the different programs that are offered. Can you guys see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. So
Yes.
this was mentioned in the video, but we do have 3 campuses. So the one obviously that's closest to San Diego is the Tijuana campus. So we have students from the US who actually commute every day. So if you have Sentry, that's one way to do it. If you have family that lives in San Diego, you can stay in San Diego and just come for the day. Or we can help set you up with housing in the area. There's no dorms on the Tijuana campus. However, we do have dorms on the Ensenada campus. And here I have with me Dr. Viviana Reyes and Dr. Melanie Duran, and they both studied medicine at one of them at the Tijuana campus, one of them at the Ensenada campus, so they could each share a little bit about what that was like. And then we also have our Mexicali campus. And as you heard in the video, we have high schools, bilingual and traditional high schools, as well as 15 bachelor's degree programs, 20 master's programs, and 2 doctorate programs. So these are in the medical, legal, administrative, and creative fields. So under medical fields, of course, medicine, this is our most popular one, as you saw from the videos. We also offer nursing at our Ensenada campus, as well as optometry, nutrition, psychology, and bioengineering. In the legal fields, we offer law and criminal justice. In administrative fields, as well as education, we offer international trade and customs, business administration and development, as well as education sciences. And more creative and design fields, we offer architecture, design, communications, and public relations, as well as marketing. And we also offer the following master's programs, so that for you guys, this would be more in the future, or if you know somebody who's ready to go into a master's program, we offer a master's in criminal sciences, criminology, constitutional law and protection, oral trials and proceedings, fiscal law, employment law, community development, construction management, trade and commerce, sustainable architecture, education, inclusive education, educational technology, multimedia design, marketing, clinical nutrition, cognitive behavioral psychotherapy, and public health, as well as biomedical sciences, and a doctorate in law and education, as well as an MBA. So a lot of programs, even though, again, you're going to hear mostly about medicine, but there's a lot more at Xochicalco for you. As you saw in the video, we also have a thriving student life and extracurriculars. And I think this is something I'd just like to mention because a lot of people have this idea that, oh, outside the US, there's not really like that traditional campus life. And I don't think that's true at Xochicalco. At least it's a very vibrant community life. So as you saw in the video, there's options to participate in scientific magazine, research exhibitions, science club, different kinds of clubs. There's a radio station and all sorts of other clubs and events as well. So if you guys, since you're in San Diego, if you ever wanted to come down and see what these are like, we have our big Noche Mexicana in September during the Mexican Day of Independence, which is really fun, and cultural evenings, athletic events, the Reina Xochicalco event, and different scholarship events, as well as, monthly arts and culture events. And if you do want to come down to any of these, just reach out to us and we can make that happen. As you saw also in the video, we have a lot of sports options: soccer, American football, basketball, volleyball, cheer, track and field, archery, and then just some pictures of our facilities. But again, since you guys are so close in San Diego, if you are interested in visiting, just come down, 30 minutes south of the border, and we can give you a tour. So our sports field, this is in the Mexicali campus, our semi-Olympic swimming pool, our radio and multimedia communications booth, the Tijuana and Ensenada campuses, and then this, Dr. Ortiz is going to talk a little bit more about the virtual morphology room, the clinical simulation center specifically for the medical school. And as I mentioned, in terms of housing, the Tijuana campus and the Mexicali campus don't have housing, but the Ensenada campus does. So as long as you register, I think by mid-July of the year before, then you will have, you can stay on campus for that year. And we are certified both nationally in Mexico and internationally, specifically the medical school. So if you heard in the videos, students and alumni talking about how now they can pursue their dreams of being a doctor in the US, you might think, oh, but how can you practice as a doctor in the US if you studied in Mexico? So you'll hear a little bit about that process from Dr. Duran, who is our AMG Mentorship Program Coordinator, and who helps students from Xochicalco, whether they're Mexican or American students, come back to the US and revalidate their studies so they can practice in the US. And those are similar processes also for nursing students. You can still come back to the US and practice here as long as you pass the boards. And here are some alumni profiles. So you'll also hear from our live alumni here, but some of our alumni profiles who are residents in Texas and California and some other states. And you might be wondering also, why did these students choose to go to Mexico and study there when maybe, their families came to the US to establish themselves in the US? So one reason might be the very low acceptance rate at medical schools in the US. So I don't know if any of the students that are here know or have a sense of what the average percent of acceptance is at medical schools, or anyone else here, if you could guess. Well, it is quite low. It's 5%. So the average medical school in the US only accepts about 5% of the applicants. So you might have a passion for medicine. You might know that this is something you want to do, but there are so many barriers to actually being able to achieve that in the US. Also, the average tuition in the US, average tuition for medical school is $60,000 versus approximately $15,000 at Xochicalco for international students. And if you're somebody who has also Mexican citizenship or has the possibility to attain Mexican citizenship, that would actually be lower for you as well. So not only for these reasons of accessibility, and affordability, but also, as you saw in the video, it's really, really practical and hands-on. You're going to hear more about that from Dr. Ortiz. And as students at Xochicalco, you learn to become student leaders in the field of medicine, community medicine. So the students at Xochicalco are the ones that are actually going out into the community, and they are, helping the community members better their health, and doing research. And you'll hear a lot more about that. Let's see. So again, accessibility is super important. Not only is the cost less, but also you are able to apply with FAFSA. You're able to take out student loans through Sallie Mae, just like you would at any US school. And we also have study abroad options, which for American students studying at Xochicalco, they're already studying abroad. But if you wanted to go even further than, half an hour or a couple of hours south, depending on what campus you're on, you would have that option. And I think I have a couple of my study abroad co-workers here, and so they could share a little bit more about that. But these are just some of the universities that Xochicalco students study at. So all over Latin America and Europe. So these are just some options. And I don't know if Edgar or Denise want to share anything about study abroad, or what are some of the most popular countries or areas that students study abroad in.
Hello, good morning. Well, yeah, there's more variety of universities that we have available for our students, and the most popular destinies would be Spain and Canada. Right now, those would be the top two.
Okay.
Also, Colombia would make it to the top three.
So yeah, even though, you might already feel like, okay, I've just crossed the border, I'm only half an hour, a couple of hours away, but I want to go a little bit further, there's options for that. And I think that is it for the university as a whole. And now I think Dr. Ortiz will share a little bit about the School of Medicine.
Hi, muy buenas tardes. Thank you, Regina, for that introduction. Thank you for the invitation of being here with you guys today. Again, my name is Alejandro Ortiz. I am the simulation coordinator, the medical simulation coordinator at Universidad Xochicalco's Tijuana campus, and I'm usually the one around whenever there is things to do that regard the US or American students as well. I am also a graduate of Xochicalco. I graduated from Tijuana's campus in 2014. I come from the US. I graduated from Mar Vista High School in 2006. So yeah, I took this path in Mexico to study medicine, like Regina said, not only for the time, and also the economy. My parents couldn't cost a university tuition in the US, and Xochicalco gave me a great option. Now I work at the institution because I love the way we work here in the school. So Xochicalco was founded in the 1970s, the institution as a whole. Throughout 1970s, the first campus was in Toluca, in the city of Toluca in Mexico, 1974. But then in 1979, Xochicalco moved to its current housing campus in Ensenada. After 1979, in 1995, Tijuana's campus was inaugurated because there were so many students coming to Xochicalco from the US that there was a need to open a campus here in Tijuana. And in 1999, Mexicali also opened its borders. So now we have a 3-campus system. And just so you can get a feel of how big Xochicalco has gotten over the years, actually we have, for the School of, we have a total of 17,624 graduates from our different programs. Currently, there is 5,359 bachelor degree students, and there is 1,014 graduate students, with only 1,872 high school students, for a total population of 8,245 students. And of those students, the medical students, we have 2,644, with a total of 5,527 medical graduates since the school was founded in 1974. The numbers keep growing every semester. The Faculty of Medicine, there's the names of our deans. The Faculty of Medicine is really, the way Xochicalco teaches medicine is something that's really unique here in the region. We do it by modules and by semesters, by subjects. Some classes, some topics are taught all semester long, and some subjects are taught just in a set time frame of weeks. The modules, the body systems of the human body systems are divided up, and they are taught by a certain number of weeks. I'll talk about it in a little while about how they teach them. But the school is divided into 4 different levels. First level, which is basic science levels, which is the first 5 semesters of the school. That's where the students come to school physically to the campus from Monday to Friday. And they're learning anatomy, they're learning physiology, they're learning pharmacology, they're learning pathology, they're learning public health, they're learning about investigation. They're in a classroom with a teacher. First 5 semesters. After the first 5 semesters are up, they go to their second level, which is their clinical level, their clinical rotations. That's where the students are going to different hospitals or health centers in the city that they're at. And they're going through the different medical specialties, cardiology, nephrology, oncology, pediatrics, OBGYN. And their groups are fractioned off, and they're doing more one-on-one, 5-to-1 actually is a ratio of teacher to student, so that they get hands-on practice on the different specialties. Once they're done with those 4 semesters of the second level, they finish formal schooling, as is considered formal schooling, where you're going to be graded, you're going to be going to school, you're going to be sitting down in a classroom. Formal schooling ends, and then they begin their 1 year of medical internship. That's where, if anybody has seen all those medical shows like Grey's Anatomy, that's where the student is bound 1 year to the hospital. Contrary to what you might see in shows in the US or fictionalized medical shows, here in Mexico, the 1 year rotation is divided up into frames of 2, like 2 months. So you start rotating between different areas of the hospital every 2 months. 2 months in OBGYN, 2 months in internal medicine, 2 months in the ER, 2 months in preventive medicine, and 2 months in pediatrics. So you're going around the different areas. You're learning about second or third tertiary level care in a hospital setting. Once that that clinical rotation of medical internship is done, there's 1 year of social service, which is compulsory here in Mexico, where the student goes into an underserved community, either in the city or in a rural setting, and they are bound to one health center, one community health center, and they are in charge of that unit or that community during that 1 year, where they're administering care for that community. And once social service is done, that's when the student is done with the career in the bachelor's in medicine, and they get their medical degree here in Xochicalco. It's a total of 6.5 years total. Like I was telling you guys a little bit beforehand, it's divided into, the courses are divided either by modular or by semester-wide courses. The modular courses are the ones that are divided. So we're looking at the cardiovascular system in 3rd semester, but the student during that 3rd semester, oh my God, I think I'm out. I think I'm out.
We can still hear you, Dr. Ortiz.
You can still hear me because I can't see you.
Yeah.
Like I'm frozen. I'm
We can
Oh.
still see you too.
Well, yeah, there's no issue on our end, so we can hear
Oh.
and see you perfectly.
Okay, so the issue is on my computer. Apparently, it froze. Okay, so like I was going into a rushing mode. So the modular courses are divided. So when we're looking at the cardiovascular system, we're going to look at the 3 different areas: the morphological areas, where we're going to be learning how the heart, how the blood vessels develop. That's the embryology.
I think now we did lose him.
Yes, we did lose him. It's because of all the crazy rain and weather that we've been having.
Yeah.
So hopefully he will join again. But this might be a good time to see if any of the students that are present, if they have any questions about medicine in general or medicine at Xochicalco, because I was told by Crystal and the transfer center that a lot of the students are still, at Southwestern are still considering what career they want to go into. So they might just have questions about why medicine, why nursing, and I think we have Dr. Ortiz again. But if that's the case, if any students want to ask, or if Viviana and Melanie want to share why they went into medicine, that might be a good time to do so.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I know I crashed. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we can hear
yeah.
you.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why my computer, it just crashed. Like it logged out of everything for some reason. I'm sorry. I'll finish up really quickly so I can give Dr. Vivian and Dr. Duran the spotlight. So I'm just going to finish this really quickly so I can finish the train of thought. Can somebody, oh, I can share screen. I can't share screen. That's perfect. Can I get permission to share screen? Really quickly. Please.
Crystal, do you mind giving Dr. Ortiz permission to
Please.
share his screen?
Please.
The other thing, I do think I have the presentation, so for some reason, I can share my screen. So I'll share my screen and then.
Please, just go to the slide where I sent it to you this morning. Please, 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 please.
All right, just let me find it.
In the meantime, oh, never mind. Okay. You found it. Excellent.
I'm gonna be done really quickly, Dr.
No,
Reyes.
don't worry. Yeah, go
Oh.
for it.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I keep going. We're already beyond that. Okay, so like I was before I was cut off, like I was telling you, we divide the body into body systems, and the body systems are taught in these three different areas: the clinical areas, which is the pathology. Students are learning what can go wrong during the illness, during a heart attack, during cardiovascular insufficiency. They're learning how to explore the heart, but they're also learning how it develops, the embryology, what cells make it up, the histology, and how it is conformed as an organ or as a system, the anatomy of it. And they're also learning the functional part of it, how it functions, the physiology, and what medications we can give when the patient is ill to replace the normal function of the body. That's the way the body systems are taught here in Xochicalco. It's a little bit easier for the student to integrate the knowledge because they're learning how the heart develops at the same time that they're learning how congenital heart defects affects a patient, and they're learning how to treat it with pharmacology or with a surgery. So it helps the student not only see what can go wrong, but how we can explore it and how we can help it. It helps to know the why. Why do I need to learn this? Oh, I know why I need to learn this, because if this doesn't happen, this patient will develop this sign or this symptom, and they will develop this disease, and then I need to treat it this way. So it's really, really easy for us as students to integrate the knowledge. Can we go to the next one, please, Regina? Like Regina was talking a little bit, there's something that really attracted me to Xochicalco, and I think one of the students in the video alluded to it. It's really practical. The school is really focused on the practical aspects. Every single class, every single subject taught in Xochicalco has a practical companion, a practical lab, whether it be the virtual morphology room where we have this virtual anatomy table, the anatomage, where we're going to look at the organs and we're going to see the organs or the body systems in a real three-dimensional cadaver, or we're going to be practicing how to take the blood pressure or how to put an esophageal tube in the simulation lab. We're going to be looking at cells in the histopathology lab. We're going to be going to the amphitheater and we're going to be dissecting a human body. There is a lab for everything. There's a clinical lab, there's a microbiological lab, there is a cellular biology lab. So there is not only learning in the classroom setting with the teacher, there's also practical learning in different labs. That's just a basic level. Second level, or the clinical sciences, there is cardiology, the theoretical class, where we're sitting down with the teacher, with the physician, with the cardiologist, and learning about the diseases. But we're also in groups of 5 going with a different cardiologist and learning with a patient in the clinical setting. So there's a lot of practical component to the faculty's way of teaching, which is something that's really, really enriching, because other schools in the region, not that I'm saying that they're bad, but there's less of an emphasis on the practical aspect of it and more an emphasis on the theoretical. So again, we're going back to the why do I need to learn this? No, you're learning it because you're doing a lab. Oh, I need to learn how to cultivate a bacterium because this will happen. So you're learning on the why during the semester, which is something that's really, really novel. The school has really up-to-date labs, and I invite any of you to get in contact with Regina, and Regina can help you set up a tour for the school should you want to see the school physically. Xochicalco is more than happy to receive you here in school and to tour you around the campus so you can get to see all the labs, not just hear it from me, but see them physically, see the labs, see the biocellular labs, see the amphitheater, see the physiological lab, see the simulation lab, see the campus, and see this modern setting we have for you guys. That's just a little bit of my intervention with you guys in regards to what Xochicalco's medical school is. I will give the word to Dr. Duran and to Dr. Reyes so they can give you their point of view or their experience. Thank you, Regina. Thank you guys so much for the invitation.
Thank you, Dr. Ortiz, and thank you, Regina. I'll present myself. I'm Dr. Viviana Reyes. I studied at Universidad Xochicalco, Campus Tijuana, so right near the border. I myself, like Dr. Ortiz, studied almost since middle school, high school in San Diego. And the main reason why I decided to study in Tijuana or come to Tijuana to study medical school was mainly for a couple factors. One, also being the financial prospect. It is way more economic or financially beneficial in the long run. I have no student debt as of now. I graduated in the year 2021 and I completed my social service last July. Definitely, it was an experience that I feel that it would have never really happened in that process where I'm like, I'm not gonna have any student debt if I would have gone to the United States, which I would have completed it. So I'm definitely very grateful for that. And also because of the time, I think it's like about 1 year less compared to the United States. And that was something that was very important for me. So once you graduate, if you do decide to come to Mexico, I had two options. I could specialize in the United States or revalidate my career in the United States, or I could become a doctor in Mexico. And even though it was very tempting, I did decide to go for the route to validate my studies. And thanks to the university and Dr. Duran, and there's a lot of support and a lot of helps that they guide you from the beginning as soon as you know you want to take this journey, and they help guide you so that you can take this route. So it was definitely a very hard decision for myself, but it definitely pushed me to see that it is possible and it's definitely doable. With a lot of work and a lot of dedication, medical school is hard anywhere, but if you're disciplined and you get to it and you have all the support that the school offers, you can definitely do it. And that's my personal experience.
Thank you. Okay, I will go next. So I'm Melanie Duran. They were referring to me as Dr. Duran, but I prefer Melanie. But anyways, nice to meet everybody. Doctora Viviana was in Campus Tijuana. I was in Campus Ensenada. And I recently graduated, as did she. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and went to UC Riverside and knew I wanted to go to medical school. And we have to take the MCAT in order to go to US medical schools, which is basically a board exam, and people can take 8 months to 2 years to take it. And I wanted to go straight into studying. I didn't want to take any gap years. So I had an open mind. I was going to do that, but I knew some people who had gone from UC Santa Barbara, UC Irvine, and gone to the Ensenada campus. So I went to check it out. Didn't think, I would fall in love like I did, but I did, and wound up actually going there and following in those footsteps, and have recently taken both board exams, and I'm applying to residency in neurology this year to practice in the US. And now we have started recently an IMG mentorship program, but we basically help each other, international medical graduates, help each other and help with this guidance to go back so there aren't any hiccups and difficulties. We have to take all the same board exams as all the US students. So go through the same exact process. So just facilitating in that. So if anyone has any more questions for that, let me know, and I will leave my email information as well.
Thank you so much, Melanie. And like I was saying before, I think some of these students might just want to hear like why you chose the field in general, regardless of Xochicalco. So if any of you, including Dr. Ortiz, wants to share why you chose medicine, what you love most about it, just kind of to help students think through their own process that they're making this big decision right now.
I'm gonna get really romantic, as I usually do get romantic in the way I express myself on the reason why I studied medicine. First of all, I didn't want anything that had to do with routine. I am leaving a stack of papers here at night in the afternoon and coming back to the same stack of papers the next day. Usually, you can be going in the hospital setting and you can be seeing the same patients, but something's going to be different. It's not going to be the same thing. It's not going to be the same. Either the patient will get better. The patient could be so good somebody discharged him or her last night. The patient could be worse, or the patient could have passed on. Not saying that I want people to die, but there's something different. Even if it's a small thing, something changes. So there's a challenge. There's a new challenge every day, a new challenge to do and to be better. 1, 2, there is no other career that is present on the day that there is a candle of life lighting, and we as health professionals, we are the ones that are holding their hands when they pass on as well. So there's nothing more worthwhile than to being there for a patient. You might think we are here because we're gonna heal you. No, we're here for companionship. We're here for the humane aspect. We're here to help. We're here to heal, but also to walk and to be with them. That's why I decided medicine on my personal aspect.
That was beautiful, Dr. Ortiz. Thank you. And yeah, that's very true. Xochicalco has that values-based focus and very ethics-based, and really, trying to form humane doctors, which is so important. Any thoughts from Viviana or Melanie?
Yeah, so me personally, I have no family members in my family, so I think I'm officially the first doctor in my family. And something that I always noticed, whenever I would accompany my parents or any family member to the doctor, because I was the only English speaker, I was like 6 years old trying to translate what was going on, what was happening, and I felt like for me, I didn't feel the pressure, but now that I'm older, I'm like, I was 6 years old translating something very important to my parents, and I felt that pressure and that worry that my parents had, and not being able to understand that and have my daughter translate that for me was something that I knew, like, I want to be a doctor that can speak both languages and be able to translate that, and because it's very different to offer that companionship, to be able to speak the same language, especially that security in the patient. So that was something that definitely pushed me to be able to be in the other side of the room. You know, when you have a family member that's in surgery, you're usually waiting and you're just praying and you're hoping that everything's going to work out, but you don't really know what's going on. So I definitely wanted to be the person in the other room so I could bring some sort of comfort to my family. But now as I grow and I studied medical school and I was able to experience so many interactions with patients and families, you definitely see that if you, like how Dr. Ortiz said, you treat every patient and every family member as your own family in a way, you can see that it really does shape the way that your relationship as a doctor fulfills your life. Because you can have so many patients and you can treat every patient like, oh, bed 346 has appendicitis, bed 403 has this procedure. It can become very robotic. So one of the things that the school definitely taught me was how to be more compassionate and have those interactions with those patients. And it's very fulfilling having the patients come back to you and be thankful and having those relationships with people that you never thought you would. So that's definitely why I decided to become a doctor.
So I will speak a little bit about why specifically, because I did want to go to the US or a US medical school. And then I visited the campus and I fell in love for just the people. Also, Doctora Viviana mentioned, costs. It is a fraction of the cost, and I'm the eldest of three. So my brother and sister still had to go through college and, to be put through medical school. And that I didn't want the financial burden and to take out a bunch of loans. Some of my friends are like $200,000 in debt by the time they finish medical school, and I'm very lucky to say I'm not. It was definitely a fraction of that. I am not Mexican, so I couldn't get the actual nationality discount, but I am Salvadorian, so I did still get some sort of a discount, which was very helpful on top of it, being a fraction of the cost of like a US medical school. So definitely financial was a huge reason. And as I was a student there and I learned medical Spanish because I thought I was fluent, and I quickly learned I'm not as fluent as I thought, maybe colloquial, Spanish, but explaining diabetes to a patient and in Los Angeles, in California, in San Diego, and now, seeing Texas, New York, there's so many other states that have such a large Hispanic population. It's so important to know medical Spanish, and not just, if you're Hispanic speaking to another Hispanic, but I think just a lot of doctors in general that I know really want to learn to be able to communicate to their patients and effectively get across and make sure that what's being communicated and informed is the correct information, and also for them to obtain, what's going on with my patient. So there were a lot of things that weren't initially my reason for going there, but I think that it just makes us more valuable as healthcare providers, that we can do a better job and be able to kind of bridge cultural gaps with people who may have healthcare disparities, minority. So I could go on and on. We can talk about this, but I don't want to take up too much time. But I think that's like a very broad, a huge takeaway that I loved from the school.
Thanks so much, Melanie. And I'm seeing a question in the chat. I think Crystal asked about if we could elaborate on mentorship for transferring their education back to the US. So I don't know, Melanie, if you could share just a little bit. I know we don't have a lot of time left, but just very basically, what is the IMG mentorship program and what's that process?
Okay, so basically there's guidance. It's to make sure that there's a lot of paperwork, there are a lot of documents, a lot of technicalities to all the board exams. What resources do I use? So many questions. And so basically we've created a community amongst us, but there is one person each year that is in charge. So they're the IMG mentorship program coordinator. This year it's me, and when we go off to residency, we continue to pass it on so we get kind of the most updated information. But we have like a network of all of the doctors that were shown in the other pictures. But basically just guiding from the very first step to the very next step. What do I need? Having that person that you can talk to, text, anything, and just ask any question. So you don't have to go venture out looking for things. So it's almost even better, like a, friendship than maybe like it's like a camp, a school, college advisor kind of thing, but for all the resources that are necessary to transfer over, just like any US medical school also has. So there are a lot more details, but basically you have someone to guide you the whole way through. So to make the process seamless and easy.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and if there's anybody here or anyone who watches the recording later who has more questions, we can definitely set you up with a meeting with Dr. Melanie. And really, it involves, studying for certain exams, a couple of the USMLE STEP exams. And so you got help with all of that and your applications and everything. That's just the basics. And then I'm really glad also that Viviana and Melanie both touched on the language part of it and the cultural aspect to bridge that healthcare disparity, because we also offer medical Spanish classes, and we offer an immersion program in partnership with Xochicalco this summer. And so if you aren't sure, you're not ready to take that step of, okay, I'm going to register for a 6-year medical program in Mexico. It's a lot to process. I just don't know. I wish I had a chance to see what it was like for a week or a couple of weeks. Well, we actually do offer that. So we have our immersion program. We have 2 separate dates this summer. So the first one is the last 2 weeks of June, and then the second program is the last 2 weeks of July. So you can choose to come for both weeks, or you can just come for 1 week. And you are going to learn so much medical Spanish. So whether you decide to eventually study medicine in Mexico or in the US, or even if you're just interested in the medical field, nursing, medical assistant, any of that, it's going to be super useful. We also offer the same program, but without the medical focus. If medicine, healthcare is not your thing, but you're interested in Xochicalco or you're just interested in Mexican culture, you can come and you'll take Spanish classes, and there's workshops with our different departments of the majors that we do offer. So say that you're interested in education or law or marketing, anything like that. If you let us know that that's your interest, we can work in some workshops. And beyond that, as I mentioned, the Spanish classes, there's a homestay with families. You could also stay on campus at the Ensenada campus, and all these cultural activities. So you'll learn how to cook Mexican meals, and we do dance workshops, and it's really, really fun, and your Spanish improves so much. And we get a lot of students who say, well, I'm a heritage student, like I don't really need to work on my Spanish, but then they get there and they realize that actually there's a lot of improvement, both, you know, colloquial and more formal terminology in whatever field that they're interested in. Dr. Ortiz, you have a hand up.
Yeah, I'm going on that aspect of visiting the school and getting to know the school. The 4th, the 5th, and the 6th of March, the school has an event called Perfiles Vocacionales, which is when the school opens its doors for all the high school students that are in the region. I'm talking about Campus Tijuana. Every single campus has different dates, and those are the dates here for Campus Tijuana. If anybody has the inkling, it's open doors. It's set up for high schools, but it's just open for anybody in the public. So you guys can come down the 4th, the 5th, or the 6th of March and get to know the campus by a guided tour for the different areas of the campus as well, which is coming right up. Yeah, vocational thing. That's the name of it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, 4th through the 6th of March. And then if that doesn't work for you, or if you're super excited and you just want to go ahead and visit right away, just reach out to me and we can coordinate a visit at your availability. Again, just make a day trip of it in Tijuana, and you'll have a lot of fun. We do still have a few minutes. I don't know if do we have until 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So then I'm going to go ahead and share a video of our students from the last summer's immersion program. So again, these are American students who didn't attend Xochicalco, but they went to the summer program. And so I'm excited to share that video with you guys.
Hola, mi nombre es Juanita y yo en este programa me sentí sentí que me dieron como la bienvenida como una familia, y todos son muy amables y me siento preparada ya para ir a mi trabajo en el hospital como asistente de enfermera y poder ayudar a mis pacientes hispanohablantes y ayudarles en español y poder traducirles a los doctores, porque no muchos saben hablar español allá. Entonces, me siento preparada gracias a este programa.
Hola, mi nombre es Carolina Lara. Yo vine a la Universidad de Xochicalco para un programa para aprender español español médico, y fue una experiencia bien bonita, y no puedo esperar para aplicar todo lo que yo aprendí a mis estudios y a mi carrera en los Estados Unidos.
Hola, yo soy Emilet Carranza y formé parte de CNU este verano en la Universidad de Xochicalco en Ensenada. Lo que más me gustó del programa fue poder practicar cosas que ya practico en los Estados Unidos, pero adquirir más potencial para poder ayudar a mis pacientes hispanohablantes y poder hacer que ellos entiendan mejor cuando tengan preguntas sobre su salud. Esto me va a servir bastante porque me ha dado más confianza para mi futuro y tal vez algún día ser médica. Hola, mi nombre es Yerali y mi experiencia aquí en Xochicalco con el programa de inmersión español es una experiencia bien olvidable. He aprendido mucho, he convivido con mucha gente de diferentes lugares y también mejoré y tengo más confianza con mi español para poder usarlo en los Estados Unidos, para poder ayudar a los pacientes que hablan español y para mejorar su calidad de vida.
Mi nombre es Cambria y mi parte favorita fue las oportunidades para explorar en Ensenada y aprender más de la cultura. Y también
Aprendí muchas cosas sobre los sistemas de salud en México y las diferencias entre esa y el sistema de salud y los Estados Unidos.
Hola, yo me llamo Reinaldo Martínez Padilla. Me gustó conectarme aquí a la cultura en México y también los mentores de español. Totalmente mejoré mi español para mis pacientes en los Estados Unidos y también mis pacientes en el futuro, que solamente hablan español.
Mi nombre es Tracy. Esta experiencia ha sido una gran experiencia de aprendizaje. Cuando yo llego a Estados Unidos, tengo un plan para usar la información con mis pacientes. Más de mis pacientes hablan español y también yo necesito hablar con español.
Mi experiencia aquí en Ensenada ha sido muy beneficiosa. Yo aprendí más de la idioma y especialmente en el área de medicina. Quiero continuar mejorando mi español para poder ayudar a todos mis pacientes.
Hola, me llamo Francisco y también mi nombre aquí es Pancho. Me gustó mucho cuando fuimos al hospital. Me gusta mucho cuando aprender cosas sobre las diferencias de la atención médica. Y aquí aprende mucho sobre la cultura y estoy cómodo cuando estoy hablando español.
Hola, mi nombre es Jaden y disfruté mucho de este programa con CINU. Aprendí mucho de la cultura de México y aprendí mucho del sistema de la salud de México también. Y en el futuro puede trabajar más con mis pacientes hispanohablantes en los Estados Unidos y con mis pacientes en el futuro como médica.
Okay, so yeah, you can see the program is really fun. It's just incorporates again the speaking practice and cultural activities and clinical shadowing. And so, you know, it's very possible that if you choose to come to the program, you'll fall in love with Xochicalco and you'll want to sign up and do medical school there. Or it's also very possible that it'll just be, you know, a transformative experience for a couple of weeks and you'll bring that back to the US, whatever you choose to do afterwards. And we did open up just the general Spanish track as well, just because we had a lot of students from last year say, oh, well, you know, I have family members, I have friends or a partner who would love to do something like this, but they're not in the healthcare field. So that's why we opened up the Spanish language and Mexican culture immersion program. And so again, that's open to anybody. And no matter what field you end up going into in San Diego and in so many other parts of the US, speaking Spanish, improving your Spanish is always going to be beneficial. So if you are interested in these programs, you could go to ceneo.com and then you could go to the medical Spanish immersion tab here if that's the one that you're interested in. And then you can kind of see more pictures and more information and galleries. So you can kind of see like what it looks like in terms of the classes, the cultural activities on campus, the shadowing trips and outings, and medical Spanish and public health class. If you or someone you know is more interested in the Spanish immersion program, you could go to that tab and scroll down and read all about that and see those galleries. If you're very interested in Xochicalco itself, can you guys see the Xochicalco website here?
Yes.
So you can go to xochicalco.edu.mx. And so everything here is in Spanish just because if you do attend Xochicalco as a student, you're going to need to know at least some Spanish. Of course, you don't need to be absolutely fluent by the time you start, and that's definitely going to come as you are studying there. But it's very helpful to have a base in Spanish just because all the classes are in Spanish. If you need any translations on here, then just reach out to me and I can get that information to you. But if you're interested in any of these majors. So you can go to the bottom. So these are the majors that we offer in terms of bachelor's degrees. So, you know, for medicine, for example, we did a lot of medicine. So maybe I'll do nursing. You can click on nursing here, and then you'll see more information and the classes that you would take here under Plan de Estudios. This is the curriculum. So you'll see like all the different classes that you would take. And then down here, if you want to let them know that you are interested in this major, just choose the campus that most interests you, and then just write in your details, and then send it, and then you will hear from them. Or again, if you just want more information, you can just reach out to me at regina@xenu.com. You can also check them out on Instagram. So each of their different campuses has an Instagram account. So Xochicalco, Tijuana, Ensenada, and Mexicali. So here, I think this is just, you know, it gives you more of a sense to be able to visually see like, oh, this is what my life would look like. This is what the campus is like, and all of that. And then also, if you want to follow Xenu, we are on Instagram at Xenu International. So here you can also see a lot more in terms of galleries of our trips, our immersion programs, host families, and that sort of thing, and other courses that we offer, like virtual medical Spanish courses and things like that. So I know that's a lot of information, but you have all of our contacts if you have any questions. And we only have a couple minutes, but does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, so I think we're good to go. Any other comments from the Xochicalco team?
I just wanted to say thank you for the invitation, and yeah, like you have my email. You have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you're doubting it, you can vent and ask, and I'm here if you have any questions. And thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Adriana. Yes, thank you so much to Southwestern and to Crystal and the Career and Transfer Center for inviting us. And we hope that everybody stays safe with